Yo, what's up folks? Jay the Great here, back with another video. And today, yes, we are finally discussing the topic that many in the Naruto fandom always think about. Why is Sakura so hated? So this is such a trending topic that I actually brought on a good friend of mine, Sebastian. He's actually very knowledgeable on Naruto. You want to say hello to the people, Sebastian?
Hello there, people.
So yeah, today we're going to break down narratively why Sakura is so hated by the majority of the Naruto fandom. I would say that a good majority does not like her. Do you agree, Sebastian, that most people don't?
I would say 100% foolproof that in any anime, in any situation, she's perhaps the most hated character. And that's saying a lot because there's a lot of female anime characters in Naruto that deserve some hate. And Sakura just gets the most because the simple fact of her narrative, her story is very bland. And compared to Sasuke and Naruto, she just seems minor, in fact.
Yeah, and especially considering she's a main character. So she's more like the light shines brighter on her compared to other characters that aren't main characters, which is why she's on more people's minds compared to like Ino or Kiba. So we're going to discuss those aspects. So folks, we're about to discuss all the reasons and events that have led to us disliking Sakura, or at least the vast majority of the Naruto fandom. I'd say a good portion of it. We're going to discuss that. Yes, we're going to go hard in the paint on her. That is going to happen, partly because of our own bias and partly because of the purposes of this video. But after that, we will try to give her credit and speak about the positive. So here we go. Let's start from the beginning. So Sebastian, what do you think about the very beginning when we're first introduced to her, to Sakura, when Team 7 first forms? What were your thoughts on her right away?
My thoughts is like, oh, a female character, maybe she'll contribute in some kind of way or shape or form. She seemed very, flustered, and of course admired Sasuke because he was the pretty boy, which is very common in throughout anime history.
Yeah.
And of course, she has the anger management problem where she hits on the main character so many times and just shits on him and doesn't give him the time of day, even though he has a total crush on her. But whatever. Yes. And when she is, I don't know if you want to talk about it first, like when the first introduction, when they talk about what are their goals in life and stuff.
Yeah. What did you think when the Naruto gave his answers? Like, I want to be Hokage. Sasuke gave his in-depth answer. It was like a real goal. He's like, I want to destroy certain somebody. And then it goes to Sakura, and it's like her own superficial, selfish desire. That's all she cared about. That was her main goal in her life. So what did you think when she said that?
When I saw that, I knew that this was somebody that wasn't going to show real growth at all. Like, she had no real goal. Like, anybody can simple for somebody, like, honestly.
Yeah.
But
what I would say, when I saw that, I was like, wow, she seems very superficial, very shallow, selfish to some degree. And I do understand the whole gag aspect that are used in animes with some characters. Like, some characters have that gag aspect. Like, even someone like Jiraiya. Jiraiya has that little pervert gag thingy, but people still take him serious, though, because he's given his due diligence. He has his feats, moments of honor, and moments of notoriety where he earns respect, like the pain fight or the three-way deadlock. But Sakura, early on, just doesn't get that. Like, that gag reel never really dies. Like, that becomes her legitimate personality, her whiny, annoying, self-deprecating nature, like her selfish nature. That's her main thing. Like, it's not really a gag, and that's why people started to look at her the wrong way right away from the beginning. A
significant difference between Jiraiya and Sakura, and to compare the two, it's kind of like blasphemy. I know what you're saying.
Exactly.
But, but like, the significant difference is that there's this word, this special word in English. It's called contribution to a team. So
basically,
it goes hand in hand when you're named Team 7 most legendary now in the Naruto series. I mean, Boruto included.
Yeah.
And it often goes to show you that she just didn't provide throughout the whole series.
It's like like that gag reel aspect. It's entertaining. Like, again, talking about Jiraiya, like that was a part of his persona, but it was only a small fraction, and it was not taken serious. With Sakura, that's her legitimate, serious personality. Like, it's they didn't make it seem like a joke. And throughout the whole timeline, she continued with that selfish and like egotistical personality. So there was nothing to cling to her. Like what writers try to do with characters is try to make us appeal to them emotionally. That just never happened with Sakura. She was never appealing to us. At least, definitely not in part one Naruto. It just never happened. It was like she fucking. So going down the timeline, so we see that she gives that superficial, just annoying answer, and then we get to the first main threat, Zabuza. So what did you think about what she did during the Zabuza fight?
Uh,
Which was cry. That's all she did.
I was just about to say that. It was like, besides cry, whole lot of nothing. She was really more. I don't know. When you describe Sakura in any instance in battle, especially in that one, she's more just bait or just more cannon fodder.
Yeah, basically.
Like she's just there to like an audience. Like if you had to describe her, like she's just more the audience. Like every other character is like that. Even side characters like that. They're like they look at the battle like in shock and always have their side. Like you hear the point of view and the side of the head. It's like, wow, how is he doing this? And you did hear that a lot. That was mainly what she was there for. Just like the third person perspective.
She was
like
literally just self wallowing in her pity the whole time. She had so much self pity. She was like, "I'm fucking useless," and she was just sitting there crying. When we see a big parallel though, or I guess a big opposite kind of aspect with Naruto when he fails to protect the bridge builder from the demon brothers, and Sasuke kind of puts them down and says, "You're scared, scaredy cat," and that fueled Naruto. Now, if you look at Sakura, she just continues to wallow and bitch and moan about how useless she is. She doesn't improve, at least not in part one. So that really gives us like this annoying. When we think of Sakura, we think of an annoying ass, whiny, just useless character, especially in part one. And that just was not a good start off for Sakura as a character, and her whole character development just was not a good start. It was just a continuing increase in dislike for her. I think the majority of the Naruto fandom, or a good chunk of it, would agree. It's just a continuing dislike, growing and growing as the timeline went on, with her fucking crying, her bitching, her simping over Sasuke, and
every moment,
like shit. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt again. Like in every moment, we're like, okay, maybe we'll give her a chance. Maybe this is the time where she pulls through and does something, useful. Might pull a clutch and save the boys, or at least be somewhat moderately fucking a distraction instead of a liability.
Yeah, literally, that's all she was. She was just dead weight, unfortunately. Almost objectively. You can almost say that objectively, that she was dead weight.
I honestly 100% believe Naruto had to pull the weight, and Sasuke too. They had to get stronger, not because of their life goals, of course, but because they had one particular dead weight the whole fucking time, and every other team had somewhat useful allies.
Basically it was like a team of two with dead weight, because they had she gave no contribution for a long time until later on in Shippuden. So that was the first two main events. The next one was the Ino fight during the Chunin exams. That was probably the most pathetic fight I've ever seen in my life. It was pathetic. It was a pathetic fight. Her and Ino stalemated. Like, that was so ass. It was pretty pathetic. The whole little rivalry that they had. The Kishimoto trying to give this emotionally appealing moment of Sakura's growth and how she doesn't want to be weak anymore. But in the end product was a pathetic fight. It was dog shit. Like, it was awful.
It was perhaps one of the least memorable fights.
Yeah, one of the worst fights in Naruto history. Probably might be the worst, honestly. Also, that personally for me, it made me dislike her so much more. I was like, wow, this is what she is, huh? This is what she is during this very crucial moment in these shinobi's careers. Yes, you got Naruto trying to become a Chunin, Sasuke dealing with the curse mark, I think, at that point. It's just, damn. Like, that's all she has to deal with. Her own selfish ego. That's her only issue right now, huh? Wow.
When I first saw it compared to what I see it now, I didn't like. They really had nothing like abilities wise. Like, still was part of a clan that could control your mind, but even that was pretty limited.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just was nothing really. Like I just couldn't be bothered to remember that fight. Even now, as I say it, like I hardly remember it, and I only remember it because she's like literally just one of those side characters that are, throughout the story is seeing that you kind of remember only because you hate her so much.
Yeah, and what I started to notice about her is that her ideology, she just lacks conviction compared to Naruto and Sasuke, who have like legitimate goals that they cling to. She didn't have any legitimate, real, admirable goals. She had no conviction. She was just a whiny little piece of fodder. That's all she was for a long time, and it just really makes you dislike her and like not take her serious. Just get annoyed when you see her interacting with anyone or crying about fucking Sasuke or bullying Naruto. It just seemed like dead weight for a long time. So the next big event that I think really causes people to dislike her is when he's in the hospital, and when Sakura goes to visit them, she only hugs one person, and it's fucking Sasuke. Despite Naruto being the one to save both of their asses. They would have been dead if it weren't for him. And she still only hugs Sasuke and only shows any type of care for Sasuke. And Naruto just stands there like, that look in his eye like, wow. That's what I get for saving you.
Like that shows the degree of selflessness like she had.
It shows a degree of like a lack of appreciation, like a lot of ungratefulness, and definitely selfish. Despite Naruto saving her and Sasuke, so they'd both be dead. The love of her life and her would both be gone if it weren't for him. So that was a bad moment for Sakura. I mean that all these events just kept building upon themselves. Like the fucking shit cake just kept growing. Like more and more layers of shit cake as time went on with Sakura. It was like, Jesus, like this is who you are. Just whiny, self-deprecating, ungrateful. It really is. It really was disappointing, and like the dislike just kept growing, honestly. So, what did you think when you saw that?
Oh, what I thought was that, what the fuck, bitch? Like seriously, it's just like you said it. It's like I just couldn't fathom what was going through her head. Like if I was Naruto personally, I would quit it. Like I would not try anymore, and would be like, you know what, bitch? Like I don't think you're really a part of Team 7. Like I go out of my way to save both of your asses, and you don't even pay me any respect. You don't say thank you. You don't try to give me, I don't know, a peck on the cheek. Fucking, he saved your ass. I mean, like you're not a princess or anything.
Yeah, it's just very disappointing. Like her character development, despite all those tribulations, just still shit. It's still going in a downward spiral. It's just not helping anyone become more. It's not helping anyone become more emotionally appealed to her. It's not helping. And who knows what was going to Kishimoto's mind when that happened. But so that was another event that I was like, wow, this is just another moment that adds to that shit cake. Another layer on top of another layer of shit. So just causes us to dislike her even more.
And it only gets worse from here, people. Only gets fucking worse.
So the next big event that I think dislike brewed for a lot of people was when Sasuke decided to leave the Leaf because he was somewhat envious of Naruto's development, power scaling wise. You know, when they had that Chidori and that almost Chidori and Rasengan clash, he saw the difference in their power when Kakashi threw them to those water towers. And he saw the whole back of the water tower blown to Shit's Creek, and his Chidori didn't do that kind of damage. So he was like, fuck, man, I'm not powerful enough. And I believe that was after the Itachi incident, when he got his ass whooped by Itachi. So he was just very envious and very upset. He wanted power. He wanted to take a shortcut because he was starting to realize, man, I'm compared to Itachi's league, I'm fucking leagues below him. I'm not even close. I have to do something drastic to get to that level. I'll never beat Itachi this way. So he starts to kind of go rogue. You know, Kakashi gives him that talk. It doesn't help in the end. The Sound Four come, take him, and he ends up voluntarily going with Orochimaru. And the most pathetic, or possibly one of the most pathetic moments of Sakura's entire existence was when she begged Sasuke to stay. And when she noticed that Sasuke didn't want to stay, she was willing to go with him to go to this fucking malevolent, psychotic asshole in Orochimaru. She was willing to betray her village, betray her team, betray her sensei, to join a guy that doesn't give a fuck about her, clearly. And she was fucking crying her fucking eyes out and begging him. It was one of the most pathetic moments I've ever seen. It was awful. I was like, you're begging him when Naruto's the one that saved your life. When Naruto the one that's saved you more than once. And Sasuke just doesn't give a fuck about you. I'm pretty sure he's called her annoying already a couple times at this point. And you still want to go with her. Go with him. That was... Wow, that was a moment.
I was like, you know what would happen if she was like a part of Jiraiya's team? You know how Jiraiya said, like, if Tsunade were to ever go rogue and go against Conan, that he would straight up fucking murk her, no matter their history.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking, it's like, if Naruto had that same fucking mindset, she would have been murked right there on the spot. She would not be alive. Like, that's fucking some simpy ass shit.
Yeah,
like not even like a really good reason either. It's like, oh, because I love you, and we even go to this crazy psychotic motherfucker who will literally do tests on you, experiment on your body, and he's sadistic as fuck. In the beginning, he is like perhaps the most craziest motherfucker you did not want to know.
He was psychotic at the beginning. Yeah, he's damn near a psychopath.
And it just really showed the loyalty she had to her own village, the place that she was born, the place that, like, literally throughout history, like, fucking, like, has struggled and became a symbol of peace and everything. Like, what the fuck?
It's like
how could you?
She just lacks any, at that point, she lacks conviction or lacks any honor towards the village. It's like the only type of clinging that she has is to Sasuke. That's the only kind of loyalty that she thinks she needs to provide. That's the only person she cares about on the planet. If you're willing to join him to go in the arms of a fucking psychopath, then goddamn, like, you really have no conviction, no honor, no self-respect. Like Jesus Christ, like, what, do you have any dignity at all? That's what I was going through my mind when she said that. Do you have any fucking dignity? Do you have any conviction, any honor? There's no honor in that. Like, that was
like,
insane.
If she were to look in the mirror, all she would see is Sasuke. She wouldn't even see herself.
Yeah,
that's all she would be thinking about.
Yeah, that was literally her world. Her whole universe was Sasuke. Nothing else mattered. The village, Naruto, nothing. It was truly insane. But so yeah, that was one of the biggest moments for me personally as well. That made me really not like her. Another big moment I think was worth discussing was when Naruto was about to go try and get Sasuke back from Sound 4. And Sakura just selfishly puts all this pressure on him and says, swear to me that you'll save him. Please save Sasuke. And Naruto, loving Sakura, obviously obliged, and all that turmoil and trials and tribulations as he went through was because of that selfish moment of Sakura. So that was a very selfish moment, and it just put a lot of pressure on him. Now, to be fair, there's a good and a bad. So the bad is he has all this pressure. He's the type of guy never go against his word. But the good part was it fueled him. I'll give him that. That was the one good part, to give Sakura some credit. It fueled him. It fueled his ambition. Made him work harder. Definitely helped him become who he is now. So I'll give her that. But yeah, it was a very selfish moment. So what did you think when you saw that?
I felt like it made him feel like he had an obligation to go out and help, like, try to get Sasuke. And yeah, that did fuel him. It did give him more of a reason to get him. But in the end, when, like, he couldn't save him, like, that really put him down. He's like, oh, I failed Sakura. I failed to get my best friend, all this. Like,
yeah,
I felt bad.
That was a tough moment for him. Yeah, when he was defeated by Sasuke in the final valley, I was like, fuck, man, like, that really hurt. That was a big moment for him. That was one of his greatest failures, and it was only that painful because of Sakura. Like, it still would have hurt if she never would have made him swear, but that extra pressure just put more turmoil on him that really wasn't needed, arguably. So that was a big moment as well. So I guess I'll let you speak about this next one. So the next one is when she pathetically begs Naruto. So now we're jumping to Shippuden. So So she pathetically begs Naruto to fight pain and doesn't do anything to try to stop pain. She just sits there on her knees crying. So what were your thoughts on that when she was just screaming for Naruto?
Oh, when she was screaming for Naruto, I was like, please shut the fuck up. Might as well give this bitch a bullhorn at this point because there is. What are you providing? You're not helping anybody. Why aren't you healing like the stragglers who are trying to fight? We're trying to escape this situation,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
villages. Exactly. Like you could have done that. You have healing powers now. Like if we're talking about Shippuden, you have healing powers, and yet you're doing nothing. Like,
Yeah.
are you seriously gonna fucking do that? Even Hinata was not at her strong point, but she was like, "I'm gonna help you, Naruto. Let me free you from the fucking things that are impaling your body, so that
Yeah.
way you can fight him."
Yeah, that was a wife.
Did
That was a
Sakura,
wife.
who had
Yeah.
superhuman strength and some healing prowess, do that? No fucking way.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
that was a wife moment for Hinata for sure. That was a huge moment for her. So basically, it goes back to like conviction. She lacks that. She doesn't have that. She doesn't have that kind of heroic kind of energy about her. She'd rather beg someone else to save her. That was what she was for a long time. She was just begging someone else to save her. Someone like Rock Lee, someone that has conviction, they'll give their lives up. Like Hinata when she was trying to save Naruto. They don't care about the odds. They're going to give their lives up before they let pain destroy their village. And Sakura just sat there fucking crying, begging somebody else that wasn't even there. And you know what's more ironic? For someone that she never even really showed any kind of gratitude towards. She's begging for someone to save her that she really treated like shit. It's very, very selfish, very egotistical. She only, somewhat, almost borderline narcissist. Like, you treat this kid like shit. You fucking treat him like shit. You like someone else. In fact, you love someone that doesn't give a fuck about you and that is now a terrorist. And you're begging this kid to save you. That's just the most selfish shit. That was another moment that was just kind of very, very lackluster for Sakura. It was very sad to see. So that moment was another just layer of shit for her shit cake, making us dislike her more. It was disappointing. So the next one, now I'm pretty sure you remember this, was when she tries to stop Naruto from going after Sasuke by lying to him and saying that she loves him. She tries to manipulate him emotionally by saying, "I love you, Naruto."
That is perhaps, I'm gonna put it out there, like the fourth most memorable moment in anime history, because everybody was like, "Stop the fucking cap!
Stop the cap! Stop the cap right now! Stop the cap! No bullshit, bro."
And, oh my God, there was an outcry. The fact that she said that and fucking lied through her ugly ass, sorry to say this, bitch teeth. It's just like, it's like, really? After all this time, oh, you're gonna say that? Like, do you know how selfish that is? You know how much this guy crushed over you, even till then. And he was like, "No, you don't really love me. Like, I know it. You don't have to lie to me." That was really sad. That hurt me. That personally hurt me. Like, if Naruto was my buddy and a girl said that after like, I don't know, what was it, like 13 years of sipping for this girl, and she said that out of just like desperation, I would have been like, "The fuck, bitch, get out of here."
Yeah, that was probably the most cap I've ever seen in anime history. It was just the biggest cap, and one of the most upsetting moments for the Naruto fandom and the anime fandom at large ever. It was one of the most upsetting and just distasteful moments. It was when Sakura tried to cap tell Naruto that she fucking loved him. And it was such cap that even Naruto fucking saw through it. Naruto saw through the bullshit and said, "Stop capping. Like, you're full of shit. And I'm not gonna stop going after Sasuke. You're capping." So that was truly just
the worst thing she can possibly ever have done.
Yeah.
Ever.
To a guy that has loved her since he was a fucking kid. Like, do you even care about Naruto? I know some people will argue, well, she was trying to save him from going after Sasuke. I was like, that's the way to do it? But trying to pull his heartstrings? That's bullshit. That was one of the biggest cat moments I've ever seen. So, the next one that followed not too soon after was when she really thought that she could kill Sasuke. She drugs her shinobi, her fellow shinobi, she drugs them, puts them to sleep, and then tries to, quote, stop Sasuke, and only puts other people's lives in danger. She forces Kakashi and Naruto to save her weak ass. They had to go save her, because she didn't have the guts to kill him, and nearly got killed by him. So they had to come and put their lives on the line to save her dumb ass. So in the end, she was just a liability. There was no positive benefit from what she did there. Just literally put their asses in danger. Kakashi almost fucking died. Kakashi almost died. That Susanoo era was not easy for him to deal with. The Susanoo, and then Naruto had to intervene and save Sakura again, because Kakashi couldn't get there in time. So it was truly one of the most selfish moments of her as a character as well. It is really built up. That was one of the most selfish moments, I'd say.
My thoughts about that is, like, I just didn't understand why she thought she had a chance against somebody who was obviously superior in technique, ability, prowess, speed, especially. Like, oh my god, like,
Oh yeah,
she
was really inferior at that point, power scaling wise. Yeah, she was really inferior actually. So that was a very bad moment. The next one, I guess you could give your thoughts first, is when the war arc starts, and then all of a sudden, she calls herself equal to Naruto and Sasuke. She says, I finally caught up to them. What do you think about that?
Makes me want to play the John Jonah Jameson like laugh.
Oh.
Because literally, no. Do not put yourself in an equal equation to those two. Because, first of all, they ended up getting the power of, like, the original, like, chakra users, really.
Yeah, especially when you got 6 paths, yeah.
And you only got super strength and a really good healing ability.
And here's the thing, she didn't go through that grind that they did. Yeah, she learned medical ninjutsu and shit, but she didn't go through that kind of grind that Naruto and Sasuke did. They went through the ringer, especially Naruto.
Especially at an early age, like, she should have just done something.
She was just a whiny, annoying person in part 1. Shippuden, yeah, she learned medical ninjutsu, but she just didn't have that kind of grind, that dedication, especially that Naruto had, having to learn the Rasen Shuriken, make many clones to speed up the process, learning Sage Mode, learning how to gather nature energy, all the trials he went through. Sasuke having his trials against Itachi and Deidara, having to fight Orochimaru, like, and save himself from having his body absorbed by Orochimaru's soul. Like, they went through some fucking shit, and compared to them, Sakura just didn't earn that, at least in the eyes of the fans. And then she comes up and says, well, I'm equal to them now. I'm like, how? What reason is she equal to them now? What did she do to earn that?
And people would argue, is like, well, Sakura was trying to help keep Naruto alive with her healing jutsu and having her fucking hand implanted in his heart, right?
Yeah. Oh, and, yeah, yeah.
It's like he wouldn't have lived. I'm like, yeah, but he was also revived from the power he got.
That's true. Yeah, the 6 past powers. So, yeah, that was a very disingenuous moment for me. I think from a narrative aspect, it just didn't seem well earned. It seemed like it was forced by the writers, by Kishimoto. They're like, all right, let's give her the powers now and give her the credit. I was like, wow, she didn't earn that though in the eyes of the reader, of the watcher.
This is what I was gonna say about that. She got what she needed, and then after the Shippuden and the War Arc, she got what she wanted.
Yeah, pretty much. And I would kind of compare that to Boruto. The problem people have with Boruto is that things aren't well earned. Like, Boruto gets God-given power early on, He's not the
And
one that defeated Momoshiki. It was Naruto and Sasuke. Yet Momoshiki gives him his power. He didn't stop him. They did. Yet he's giving that power of Momoshiki. This is not well earned. You have these people that are prodigies that didn't earn anything. And to be fair, some people would say, well, Kakashi was a prodigy. Minato was a prodigy. These guys were prodigies. Like, yeah, but they went through trials and tribulations that Boruto has not. There's always something that saves him. Saves his ass. Plot devices. All the time.
and
they're
he's
more
spoiled, and he doesn't appreciate, like, he didn't go through the hardship that his father went through, and he doesn't like understand that whatsoever. And
Yeah.
throughout the series, he kind of sort of learns it.
Yeah,
But,
and there's some parallels to that with Sakura and during this moment. It's like she didn't earn these moments, not to the extent that Naruto and Sasuke did. And the reason that matters is because she's a main character. If she was fucking Kiba or Choji or something like that, it would be more understandable. But she's Sakura. She's part of Team 7. And she didn't go through that grind. She didn't go to the same grind. She didn't have us become emotionally appealed to her, which is important to sell manga, to sell books, to get eyeballs on the screen. That didn't happen. So we didn't really take that too seriously. There's plenty of memes out there that are just shit on that moment. So that was another moment that was just like, really? This seems very forced. The final, I guess, shitty moment before the conclusion of Shippuden was when Obito was pleading with Sakura to take his Rinnegan, so Madara couldn't take it. He was begging her to take it out and destroy it. And she was too weak to try and save the world. She just couldn't do it. There was weakness, lack of conviction, irrational fear. And she was too weak to do it. And Madara got it because she was too weak. That was a very weak and selfish moment. Just no spine. She's a main character that has the world in the palm of her hand, and she decides that she can't do it. There's just no conviction. There's no honor there. It was very disappointing. And I wasn't even surprised at this point. It's really like 600 episodes in. I'm not surprised. It's like, yep, she's not gonna do it. She's not gonna do it.
I mean, funny as you say that, because she had the conviction to go against Konoha, like be a terrorist essentially.
Exactly.
And
She did have
don't
that. She was willing
regret
to do that. Yeah. She was willing
couldn't
to do
take out
that.
the bad side to save the world.
She was willing to go with Sasuke to go in the arms of a psychopath, but she wasn't willing to save the fucking world.
But she was also willing to be in a genjutsu to have like a boyfriend girlfriend relationship with Sasuke, I believe.
Yeah, that was just a lot of disappointing moments from Sakura. So, yeah, those are the bad moments that built up this what I call shit cake with layers of shit just constantly building upon themselves. And that cake is the reason why that Sakura is so disliked. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, we've discussed the negative about Sakura. So yes, folks, we are going to discuss the good things, like I said at the beginning. So let's go on to that. So, I'm not going to lie. Being objective, the list is pretty short in comparison to the good things about Sakura. Alright, so the good things about Sakura in comparison to the bad things, it's night and day. The list is not even nearly as close. We've tried to kind of scavenge what we could. So, let's discuss it. So, the very beginning of Shippuden, as we all know, she learned medical ninjutsu. And that in that moment, I think to a lot of viewers, she gained respect because she had proficiency in medical ninjutsu. And because of her, Kankuro's life was saved after being poisoned by Sasori. Because of her, he's the reason that he continued. She's the reason he continued to live. If it weren't for her, his life would have been lost. All the sand medical ninjas, they weren't able to figure it out. Sakura had to bring her expertise that she learned from Tsunade and saved his life. That really made us look at Sakura in a new light. So that's credit we have to give her. So what do you think? What do you think about that?
I do think that was a very memorable moment, honestly. I thought it was like, oh, well, this is her moment to shine, her like 15 minutes of fame where she could actually provide a lot of information in terms of medical jiu-jitsu. And I thought, you know what? That's what she's going to be here for. She's going to be there to help out, a helping hand when it comes to situations where, like, combat is not necessary and it's just the after battle,
Yeah. So she did contribute there. She saved the life, essentially. And because of her, now we're going to discuss the next event. the defeat of Sasori. So this is one of the most memorable fights. Her and Chiyo battle Sasori in the cave. And I'll say this, I'll give her credit where credit's due. During that fight, she displayed conviction. She displayed tenacity. Because she was being beaten down at several times. And at one point, she was the one fighting. Chiyo wasn't really even controlling her at a certain point, if I'm not mistaken. And she really did display ambition, tenacity. And that's a big reason why Sasori was pushed against the ropes. Despite we all knowing he gave up at the end, obviously, yeah, he did. I mean, Chiyo states it herself, he gave up, and he could have killed them if he wanted to, but he was pushed a little bit. It wasn't an easy walk in the park. You know, Sakura did react to Sasori. She did strike and break his, I believe, his original puppet body. I mean, she did some work. And yes, she had Chiyo's help, but that was still a memorable moment. You gotta give her credit where credit's due. It made us respect her more as a fighter and as a shinobi. And it was a good moment.
She did show tremendous combat prowess, her tenacity to utilize the situation, especially of her teammate at that time, was very efficient. She knew that she can use Chiyo, right?
Chiyo, yeah.
Chiyo, there you go. To her advantage, because she was indeed a puppet user, so that way she can be the distraction and also provide cover and support, while Sakura could provide the vanguard. She was actually the vanguard at this point.
Yeah, basically.
She provided that strength factor into it, and she did show some strategy into it, and it was very good. I gave her an applaud for that.
Yeah, I definitely admired her a little more compared to her previous bad moments in that one because, yeah, she definitely displayed her mind. She's definitely not a dumb shinobi. She had some good strategy when facing Sasori, like how to properly use the antidote to her advantage, how to deal with his puppets, how her and Chiyo worked in conjunction where she kind of controlled Sakura's body with the puppet strings. It was pretty well coordinated. That's the reason why Sasori was pushed. And yes, again, he did give up at the end. We know that, but still, we gotta give credit where credit's due.
Give credit due, exactly.
So yeah, so basically,
doesn't mean that's not a win.
Yeah, so basically, the beginning of Shippuden was arguably the most memorable moment as far as a positive aspect for Sakura. I mean, she saved Kankuro's life. Her and Chiyo defeated Sasori, the one that almost killed Kankuro. And that was a very good moment for her. She really displayed some useful ability. So after that, some other good moments for Sakura was probably during the war arc. I feel like during the war arc, the writers and Kishimoto made it an emphasis to display her selflessness, actually. Not selfishness, but selflessness, such as when she fought Ten-Tail clones. She was taking down the Ten-Tail clones. She was trying to save Naruto's life after Madara ripped the Nine Tails out of him. That was a very honorable moment. Also, during the fight with Kaguya and Jubidara, she displayed some selflessness, such as when she was willing to be bait for Jubidara by blitzing him to test his abilities and test what he's capable of. That was a selfless moment. I don't think Part 1 Sakura would be willing to do that. So this Sakura was willing to do that. She was willing to put herself on the line for their team. And then against Kaguya as well, she was willing to blitz you could argue, a solar system threat. I mean, after what she was doing to a whole dimension with her expanding truth-seeking orb, she was willing to put her life on the line and attack Kaguya to help Naruto and Sasuke seal her. That was a very honorable moment for her as well. And power scaling wise, it puts her at a whole new level, which we'll discuss after this. But what did you think about her in the war arc?
I thought that she definitely showed a tremendous amount of courage compared to her previous history in battle. It showed growth. Like, I was honestly really proud of her as a person, that she was willing to go out of her way to not stand in the sidelines. As a medic, yeah, I get it. It's her profession to go in the back because she's the last line of defense if they need ever healing. But in this case, she actually was like willing to go out of her way to sacrifice herself so that way her teammates can have a chance to continue the battle. And it really showed something when she kicked Kaguya in the head. Like, Kaguya mistakenly thought of her as nothing more than a morsel, an insect. And it's as an Atsuki, it makes sense because that's what her species are about. Like, a lot of things are inferior to her, and compared to her power, it made sense that she didn't think of her as that.
Yeah, she was a
But
god, basically.
after that fact, after she said, "You know what? You got to pay attention to me. I'm part of this team too," and fucking smacked her. That was honestly got scary.
Yeah, definitely, and broke her horn. Actually, was able to damage a opponent of that caliber. I mean, that the power scalers go crazy with that. So, talking about that, what also makes us admire her now, current Sakura, I guess in Boruto specifically, is her power scaling placement. So, her war arc feats quickly put her in a different tier as far as caliber of shinobi. I mean, she was able to tank an attack from Jubidara. Yeah, she got stabbed by it, but clearly she fully recuperated if she's able to fucking punch Kaguya, who's exponentially times stronger than Jubidara, in the fucking head and break her horn. That clearly puts her at a whole different tier. So that makes us respect her more as far as power scaling is concerned. A lot of power scalers don't want to give her that because they don't like her. But the truth is, empirical evidence is empirical evidence, despite how you feel about her. Personally, I don't really like Sakura even to this day. But hey, she did what she did. She was able to damage an arguable solar system threat, and you just can't disregard that because of your appeal to emotion, your negative emotions towards her. You can't do that. That's disingenuous and that's fallacious. You got to give her credit where credit's due.
And it's very biased, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
very biased. Very biased. And that's a problem with a lot of characters. People fucking wank Jubidar and say that that three-eyed Madara could fucking defeat Ishiki. That's fucking blasphemous. That's just not correct. Or some people say that, what's another example? Some people that are extreme casuals will say something like Itachi beats Madara. That's extremely blasphemous. That's not correct. It's not correct. You know, it's just very disingenuous and it's fallacious. It's a big problem in power scaling. When you're discussing relative objective truth, you can't use your emotions in this. Now, there is ambiguity in some things and some topics, but when there's empirical evidence, you can't just simply disregard it because of how you feel. It's disingenuous. And that happens to Sakura all the time. That's why adult Sakura versus EMS Madara was so contentious in the community when it first appeared. Like, adult Sakura's feats far outweigh EMS Madara. EMS Madara lost to Prime Hashirama. Adult Sakura is around 10 to 15 years older than the Sakura that punched Kage in the fucking face and broke her horn off. Like, it's not even fucking comparison. So you can only rationally deduce, yeah, Sakura's superior to a lot of fucking people. A lot of people. Because of what she's accomplished. And you have to admit that despite how you feel about her. So that's just truth. And there are definitely good things about Sakura. But despite all that, despite us discussing both, we got to be objective here and just conclude the bad clearly outweighs the good. And there's a reason why, to this day, a vast chunk of the Naruto fandom just dislike Sakura and hate Sakura because the good is outweighed by the bad. So, what would you say on what were your thoughts on this? Like, comparing the bad to the good and what people think of her.
Compared to bad to good, obviously, yeah, it outweighed how much good she did as a character, as a narrative, as a story plot, as a strategist, as a combatant in the team of Team 7, the most legendary team throughout the Naruto series. She has showed that she is inefficient in most common situations. As she got older, she matured and cried less, but it didn't take away the fact that she was still ineffective in absolutely everything.
Yeah. Yeah, so overall, the conclusion is the bad outweighs the good. But the final bonus part we want to discuss, and I think some people want to hear our thoughts on this, was Kishimoto as a writer on women, right? When it comes to writing women. So what are your thoughts on Kishimoto's writing when it comes to women characters, and what do you think that means about him?
In case of women, in case of the younger generation at least, in the Naruto series, it didn't seem like they had much going on in terms of power or in terms of capability. So it was kind of lackluster. You're more focused on the boys who obviously had intentions, narrative, some very good ambitions for the most part. Especially Rock someone like Lee or Gara, for instance, who was a total sociopath and then learned to be humbled by Naruto.
Yeah.
And it's just, but we do have to take in the fact that there are the few, it's just the adult female perspective that were obviously like big parts of the story, like Lady Tsunade, Tsunade or Kaguya or Choi. Yeah, she was there too, and she was helpful as fuck. If it wasn't for her, Sakura wouldn't have lasted like half as long.
Exactly. So what I would extrapolate from Kishimoto's writing, some things that I noticed, is that he tends to stick to gender roles, like kind of parallel our world to the Naruto verse. So if you notice, the female characters, most of them, I guess you could say, are more support characters, right? And in the real world, at least from an historic sense, women have had that support role. They're the gatherers, they're the nurturers, and that kind of speaks to why, the most proficient medical ninjas are women, because of the whole nurturing and support aspect. So Kishimoto kind of stuck to that, right? And the fighters and hunters are the men, which is why Sasuke and Naruto are top dogs. Minato's male, Madara's a fucking dog, Hashirama's a fucking dog, because they're the men, they're the males. So Kishimoto sticks to gender roles, and some people call that sexist. It's not sexist, right? Now, I could kind of understand the argument from one point, because they would say, well, Sakura's fucking fodder, useless, 10-10, they're useless. But on the other side, he's made some very powerful beings. Just look at even currently, Delta, Ida, if you want to talk about current villains, if you want to talk about Tsunade, if you want to talk about Kaguya, these are top of the food chain characters. I mean, the Kara Inners have the same they have the same war potential as Hokage and Naruto before the nerf. And Delta has that kind of potential. Ida probably has more potential than that. We don't even know what she's capable of. So to automatically say Kishimoto's sexist, I think, is a little disingenuous. I think he's old-fashioned. And I think maybe part 1, right, back in the day when he was writing part 1, maybe he was more extreme on that. I'll give you that. But I wouldn't necessarily claim that he's sexist, that he has some sort of ill will towards one sex or the other. I think that's not correct. He was old-fashioned, and I think he's become more progressive, especially in Boruto, with other writers around him, and he's modern day evolving with feminism and things like that. But I don't think he's sexist. I think he was old-fashioned, and he's made up for that, I think, with Sarada, stud, Delta, stud, Ida, one of the most powerful villains ever. So I think overall Kishimoto is a good writer and has done well for female characters, especially now with Boruto. So I just don't like when people try to shit on Kishimoto for the things he's done. Is any writer perfect? No. Every writer has a bias. It's inevitable. But I don't think he's like malevolent and invidious and evil and wants to just shit on women. I don't think that's the case. So
obviously, for the like you said, for the current characters that he's created currently, who obviously fucking are superior to the whole Itsuki at this point.
Basically, yeah, exactly. Like Delta fucking was reprogrammed again, and Ida fucking strong as hell. Like they're stronger than Naruto right now, apparently, because he's nerfed. He can't even deal with them. He's the main fucking character. So in all reality, Kishimoto is doing just fine with female characters. So yeah, folks, that's our thoughts on that. I know people wanted that little piece as well. So that's the video, folks. Do you have any final thoughts, Sebastian, before we wrap this up?
Yeah, we hate her. But we also stated, obviously, that she had good feats. But it's just, she has a good reason not to be liked. And even if she wasn't an evil person throughout the story, she had no story to really tell about.
Yeah, so basically, folks, to wrap this one up, Sakura's flaws and mistakes just outweigh her good moments. There's too many. The sheer weight of her flaws and mistakes heavily outweigh her good moments, and you can almost say that from an objective lens, right? The sheer numerical number of mistakes and flaws outweigh the numerical value of her good feats. And that's from an objective sense, from an empirical sense, from a rationalist standpoint. It makes sense why she's disliked. It does make sense. I know some people do like her, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but the reasons to dislike her are very apparent. And I don't think they're far-fetched. They're not far-fetched reasons. It's not like some subtle little reason why she's disliked. There's just reasons for it. And to be fair, there's other characters that if they were main characters would probably be disliked too that aren't women. So before people say it's because she's a woman, which I know there's some people out there like that. If Kiba was a main character and stuck the way he was, I would fucking despise Kiba. Kiba is fucking ass. Or fucking, there's a few other characters as well. So the point is, the bad outweighs the good, folks. That's our analysis on why Sakura is disliked from the beginning to end, and even up until Boruto. We didn't talk about Boruto because there really isn't anything on her. She had her Shin moment. That's a very ambiguous moment as far as power scaling, as far as narrative. I guess you could give her a good moment for that. But yeah, folks, we hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm pretty curious what you guys think about this. I know it's a very discussed topic in the Naruto fandom, and we'll catch you in the next one, folks. Peace out.